Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's video I will be talking about the step up spawn that just came out with the new monster, the Mortal Sin of Gluttony Beluza. I don't even know if I said that right, but whoa. This monster is super cool looking. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite looking monster, but it's definitely way up there for me. So I definitely want this monster, and it's just because of its looks. Even though the Full Metal Alchemist is out and I should be worried about those animations, this is like extremely cool looking monster. I don't know about you, but I want it. Anyways, going over its ability, it is one of the activation priority monsters out in this game right now, 1 out of the 3. If you don't know what activation priority does, it, no matter what, I've actually seen somebody use Madia, so no matter what you do, whether you lose or win, so this is for guild battles or Coliseum, you will always go first. Whether you lost the Unison battle or you won, if nobody has activation priority except for your monster, you will go first no matter what. So it is extremely OP at certain times. Like, there's this one kill that almost clutched us because they only used 2 monsters. It was one monster and like Madia, and I was like, that's not gonna happen. Next thing you know, Madia is the one that goes first. I'm like, they lost the Unison battle, so Unison priority is broken. I'm absolutely broken. Now, I'm not exactly sure whether this monster will come out like a treasure spawn or not or anything like that, because there was another step up spawn monster called it was the other one I think it was Lust, the Mortal Sin of Lust. She hasn't been out ever since, so these probably are only going to be step up spawn exclusive for a long time coming. But on top of all that as well, I'm not going to say it's going to be hard to obtain a really good something good from the step up spawn, but as for the individual things, this monster is probably going to be harder to obtain from the step up spawn compared to every other monster in the step up spawn. Now, you do have a high chance of getting something pretty dang good in a step up spawn, no doubt on the benefit, but the chances to obtain, like, you know, just one monster and it probably being the highest cost in the step up spawn, I'm not going to say it's mythical, but it probably not going to happen. For the most part, it's probably not going to happen. Like, it's definitely not impossible. I'm pretty sure maybe a couple people that watch this video, if I get like 400 people watching this video again, there might be like a couple out of the 400 that actually obtain this monster. Maybe even 20 out of 400 might obtain it, but it's probably not going to happen. Anyways, going on from there, reason I'm actually saying this is a pretty dang good monster, because no matter what, you're going to go first unless there's another activation priority monster on the field. This monster, first of all, increases the maximum HP of all allies by 40% for 40 seconds, and per each skill level boosted, it's up by 5%. There's no reason for these monsters to attack their Unison activation priority. They go first, so that means no matter what, the skills they use is going to go first. So perhaps you're like far behind in Unison Gauge, like you're just dealing with a team that's just stupid on their Unison Gauge, right? Having monsters like these that go first and use defensive skills, let me tell you, it's so helpful. 2 people, it was a Unison battle. It was us 5 versus them 2. And it was a struggle for us just from them using 2 monsters because they had an activation priority defensive monster. So yeah, activation priority definitely kicks butt. Oh yeah, it definitely kicks butt. So that increased maximum HP by 40%, it can be very clutch and very useful in certain situations, because you might be the only one with Unison and you might have to use it. That's alright. That 40% HP means you're going to be dealing with 40, you can lose 40% more of your health points and still survive. If you don't really have defenses though, that's going to be an issue. But on top of it, she increases the stats of all allies by 40% for 60 seconds. So you can have defense and magic defense increased by 40% for 60 seconds. This is going to make it a bit harder for you to kill on top of the maximum HP, so this is very good. and she increases status alignment resistance of all allies by 40 for 60 seconds as well. So that means all you're dealing with S rank, this is going to happen, especially if it takes a while to kill the enemy team. They're going to try to pop some monsters or something that has status alignment with it, or status alignment attached to it, so that way you can't do jack while they can do whatever type of moves they want to you and possibly just demolish your team, which I've seen before happen. What guild was it? It was a guild. It was a YouTuber too. I think it's like the Oni Nunu. He showed me once during the tournament that it's very possible to just get wins like that with high gear score and a team that could pop status alignment monsters. That's pretty much what he showed me. Anyways, going on from there, with this, that's not gonna happen. No status alignments, none of that crap. It's, well, I'm not gonna say it's all gone, but the chances of it happening are pretty dang slim, because it pretty much destroys the success value by 40. So if it's like 100 success value, it's pretty much going to be like 60 now. It's pretty much what's going to happen. That's why that is very good to actually have. And if your team is behind in Unison, because again, you're going first and you might be the only monster you have, and that's fine. This is one of those monsters you could pop even if you're the only one to pop it, because you're going first no matter what. You could get that Unison gain before anybody ever dies. You can get that Unison gain for all your allies before anybody dies if they're behind. So this can be very useful as well. This is more of a occasional and depending on the circumstances. This is one of those depending on the circumstances ability, the increased Unison gain, and then the other two, not really useful. Again, this is one of those monsters you're going to be popping first, so they're not going to be popping like Napoleon, Misunari, all types of crazy cost recovery and action speed boosting effects. They're not going to be doing that. So this move is, I'm not going to say it's 100% useless, but for like the main role of the monster in this move, they do not get along well. Same for the increased ability power of all allies water Unison damage by 40 for 60 seconds, unless your team is popping like a crap ton of Tristans, which if you're the only place this monster is like super useful in, you could use it in like player versus enemy. Not the best choice. I mean, it's useful in player versus enemy, so it can be used. It's not completely useless in player versus enemy, but it's not the best choice by far. Coliseum is like 50% of what it's useful for, and if you're using this in Coliseum, you're going to be dealing with random people more than most of the time. You might get one person on your team that you know, and that's literally it. As for guild battles are a bit sided, and a lot of people get competitive when it comes to guild battles, at least in S rank, and a lot of people like to use that negative pressure strat, see what they have, yada yada this and yada yada that, and if they don't do that, you really got to be there's really circumstances involved with Unison battles. So this ability power for water Unison is not going to be as helpful. It can be, but most of the time it's not going to be helpful. And they cast Resurrection on yourself to make sure you have a second chance at whatever you're doing as well. So if you really get hurt badly, but they don't use like devastating monsters, you have a chance to make a huge comeback. And same for your team. Sadly, it only casts Resurrection on yourself, so that's kind of sad. But overall, you can see where I'm getting at. This is a pretty good monster. As for the step-up spawn, if you're unfamiliar, if you've never done it, if you don't know what it is, step-up spawn is one of the best free-to-play friendly spawns out there that pretty much guarantees you a 32 cost or lower. And pretty much, I'm not going to say all of these monsters, but a good deal of these monsters that you find in here are very, very good to have. And I would highly recommend getting some of these. If you ain't got no good monsters, pop this 46 gem spawn right here. There are no commanders involved or any of that stuff. You might only get bast. If you're unlucky and get bast a lot, that is fine. If you really want to hold back, that's fine, because you might be getting basted more than anything. Same for Remory. But if you don't have 32's pot, or if you don't have, if your full monster team is not fully pot, 33s or higher, don't be afraid to get more bastards, and don't be afraid to get more ground rays. Just pot them, awaken them, Honestly, if you get more Remers, you get more Bassets, just pop them and get that gear score. Get that gear score. This is the best way to obtain awakening material that is monster wise. I'm not gonna say it's better than the recommendation pack, but there is a chance for it to be better than the recommendation packs. Whenever they come out with the awakening news or Winnie news, they look like EVs. If you ever play Pokemon, they look like EVs, but they have like a number on like the side of them. The 35 one, which pretty much allows any 35 cost to have awakening, it's like $74. So this can be, it's by chance. It's not going to be guaranteed every time you do the spawn or a full step up, but it's by chance can be as useful as that last, well, the recommendation packs. So this is one of the best ways to obtain awakening materials for your monsters. Definitely try this out, and these are not pushover monsters. I definitely get some of these if you can, but if you have bad luck with this, don't feel afraid to not do this unless you don't have like 33 cost or higher all on your monster slots and pot out. If you don't get these 32 costs, pot them out, and then you could be done with the spawn and for I don't even know how long, unless as long as you need to, as long as you like to, if you really have that bad of luck. With that being said, I hope this helped out, and I will see you in the next video. This is the AzureWrath. I'm out. Peace.